The president was supposed to spend the weekend at his Bedminster Golf Club, but the schedule was scrapped Friday, and he decided to stay in D.C. instead after campaigning with Congressman Mike Lawler in New York. Regarding his son Don Jr.'s wedding, the president said this: "While I very much wanted to be with my son Don Jr. and the newest member of the Trump family, his soon-to-be wife Bettina, circumstances pertaining to government and my love for the United States of America do not allow me to do so. I feel it is important for me to remain in Washington, D.C. at the White House during this important period of time." Axios reports the president met with his national security team on Friday to talk about the war in Iran as he seriously considers new strikes. This comes after weeks.
I just want to say a few things. First of all, that means very, very likely, as well as for other reasons that are going to come up, that we're going to strike Iran soon. But this was the first, this news is the first I even heard about Don Jr. having a new girlfriend. I guess I've been out of the loop, haven't been paying attention enough. Seemed like it was, last I heard he had he was engaged to that other Kimberly Garfile or something. So yeah, that's interesting, just to switch up, and he's getting married already. I'd say that's also part of the reason. Trump would go for sure, but it's also like a little less important whenever you're just like switching up your woman like that so often. Plus he already has an ex-wife. But yeah, we're probably gonna strike Iran. All right, let's continue.
Of stalemate on a deal despite Pakistani mediators scrambling last minute to bridge any gaps. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's abroad on a diplomatic trip to India at the moment, gave some insight on the negotiations.
There's been some progress. I wouldn't exaggerate it. I wouldn't diminish it. There's more work to be done, but look, yeah, there's been some, and that's a good sign. I'm glad they said that. We're not there yet. I hope we get there. The president would prefer to do a good deal.
But Rubio says Iran also wants to create a tolling system for the Strait of Hormuz, a scenario that he says is unacceptable. There's also the question of Iran's highly enriched uranium. President Trump insists Iran won't be able to keep that stockpile, saying the U.S. will probably destroy it once they obtain it. Charlie, Rachel, and Griff.
All right. Thank you so much, Maddie. Marco Rubio, you guys saying that he has a lot of support around the world in the idea of not.
Okay, we're not going to watch this. This is actually just kind of weird. The whole backdrop thing here, whenever they are live at some event, and there's a NASCAR thing, and they're, and then they're going to talk about something different, and then we got to look at these two guys' junk. It's just terrible. So anyways, I am fed up with this war in Iran thing, about, hopefully we can make a deal. Hopefully we can make a deal. I do think that strikes are likely coming this weekend. But this whole hopefully we can make a deal thing is dragging on way too long. It's been getting annoying for like a couple weeks now. It's been a couple weeks now. And then also we're on a new operation. The other operation is finished. We succeeded. How did we succeed the first operation when the number one goal was to get the uranium and make it to where they can't, do nukes anymore? Now I will say they can't really do nukes right now because we, destroyed their ballistic missile program and their whole military, so they can't protect the nuclear site. But they can fix that. And so, the original goal was to get that uranium, and we didn't do it. And then we just say we're successful on the first operation onto a new one that's mainly about securing the Strait of Hormuz. It's like, no, the main goal has not been accomplished. Now it's dragging on forever, where we pause the strikes. Now it's good that we're not getting innocent people killed, and if we would have hit the power plants and stuff. But where I think he really fucked up? The regime was on the brink of collapse even before we started the war. They were having the biggest protests in Iran that they had in a very, very long time. And the regime was killing people. And Trump said multiple times that if the regime kills the protesters, innocent, peaceful protesters, we're going to protect the protesters. And we basically didn't. And then at the beginning of this war, they specifically said the goal is not regime change. Fuck it. Why are we so scared to say it's regime change? I know regime changes went bad in the past, but this regime has constantly wanted to kill us in Israel. And sure, a lot of Americans say, fuck Israel. Okay, whatever. But they want to kill us too. And they have killed our service members that are overseas. A lot of people say we shouldn't have our service members overseas. And while I used to agree more with that, as I've thought more about it, and I'm only 31, so I mean, my views, were really never too patented. In the last couple of years, when I think more about that, if you just let them go unchecked over there, just totally unchecked, they will probably develop the power to have a pretty major strike on us. So, there's that reason to maybe be over there. But anyways, I think, as a Republican myself, and I support most of Trump's policies, I think this has been really not too good. It's getting very frustrating. We should have went for regime change, I think. And then this has been a whole debacle of, I think it was harder to go just completely, annihilate them to where you can just walk in and get the uranium than Trump thought it would be. Because otherwise, why don't we just walk in and get the uranium? We obviously can't quite do that. If it was just such complete annihilation, like we say, we should be able to do that. But it's hard to annihilate to that extent. Now we probably could with, demolishing the power plants. We don't want to do that, sure. But yeah, this has went longer than expected, and I know there hasn't really been a war going on for right now, but, I don't know, it's still dragging on. And also it's just, harder now than it should have been, because, we've allowed them to, kind of recoup or whatever, and also we're, dragging this on, too, for the people of Iran. The innocent people of Iran are surely shit is not, as it took a hit to their lively, their every day-to-day life, the way they've been bombed. So, I think we should have just went in for regime change right away, just demolish the regime. And we did kill a lot of leaders. I mean, I'll give them that. But the people of Iran were ready to go overthrow the government themselves, and we just had to empower them to do it. And we should probably give them weapons. We need to smash any more government areas, military areas, as hard as we can, and then give the people weapons and overthrow the government would be the best. And then the new government has to give us the uranium. That would probably be the best solution. Otherwise, I don't know, demolish them to the point you just walk in and take the uranium. But this has been unsuccessful so far, I will say. I'm going to leave it there. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Leave your comments. Leave a comment with your thoughts, and I'll check them out. Thanks. Bye.